Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Corrine. Almost forgot my own name there for a minute. How about that? That's always a fun way to start the day. Anyway, today I'm going to be showing you this really easy and hopefully quick. I think I'll definitely be able to do the one card really quickly. But if I try the second one, it might take a little bit longer. All you're going to need for this is two colors of ink, plus a darker color for outlining kind of thing, and an open type of stamp. The When I saw this being done, the person that did it was with Gina K, and she had actually done butterflies, like a set of three butterflies, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I was trying to recreate that, but I couldn't find my butterfly stamps. I must have sold them or something because I don't use them very often. Most of you that know, I don't do a lot of florals either, so I was really scrambling to figure out what the heck I was going to use. What I decided to use then is I had gotten this stamp set just from our Dollar Tree, and this was the image that I used, and it turned out really cool. And the only other tool that you need is a white pencil crayon. This one's a Crayola one, and I used both. So I have a fancier Art and Fly oil-based pencil crayon. And this one's a Crayola, which is a wax base. So we're going to be doing a resist using crayons. White is obviously the easiest, but you can use yellow, any kind of lighter color. And then that'll determine what your background's going to look like. But basically, that's what we're going to be using. So again, this is what we're going to make. So let's get started. So to start with, all I'm going to take is a piece of white cardstock. This is just pretty sure that's 80 pound accent opaque. And I'm going to pull off my stamp here, and I'm just going to put this onto my block. And I'm using this on a block versus a stamping platform because I want to be able to shift the image. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of shift it around, and I'm going to start with my middle image first. That way, then I know how much space I have, and where I'm going to get a baby wipe ready to go here because I tend to get ink on the edges of my blocks here. So I'm just going to use Gina K Designs. This is my amalgam ink, which of course I can use for stamping on alcohol or water-based. So whatever my coloring technique is. So I'm going to be using dye-based inks. So I would want to use like a permanent type of ink, or I'm going to use this amalgam ink. And because I'm using a block, I want to make sure that I'm getting ink all over my stamp. So I'm just going to keep tapping it and moving the ink pad around, shifting it, making sure, because we tend to, when we ink up, we tend to, we have like a muscle memory of where our hands hit. So it's really important to, because this is actually right here is where it's comfortable for me. So I'm hitting my stamp in the exact same place every time. So I want to try and remember to move it around so my muscle memory isn't working against me. And as you can see, I did manage to get a lot of ink around. So because I don't want to get that onto my card panel. Okay, so I want the leaves on this one to kind of go up. So I'm just going to stamp that. Let's give it a second here. So this is dye-based ink, or this is like, because this is an amalgam, this will sink into the paper a little bit. A little wiggle there and lift. Pretty decent for a dollar store stamp, not too bad. Then I'm going to ink up again. And again, I'm moving my ink pad around, okay? Trying to make sure that I'm using all of the ink that has been saturated into the pad. I don't need to re-ink my pad right now. It's still good. But I do want to make sure that I'm moving it around so that I'm, again, picking up ink from all over on the pad. All right, now come over to this side here. And so what do I want to do? And do, yeah, oops. Okay, good. Let's get a little better. Okay, so I'm kind of going to angle it a little bit. Pushing down. And again, I'm not doing chest compressions. I'm not pushing super hard. Just making sure that I'm getting an overall good adherence kind of thing. Okay. And one more. around, moving it around. This thing that I'm stamping on here is almost like a mouse pad. It's a stamp pad, and it gives, if you're not going to be using a stamping platform, it's really good to have something underneath your paper so that your stamp has something to bite into. And I'm just going to shift that over here. And you can see, go right there. Okay. And I'm just going to hold it down. So this is almost like it's kind of like a stiff foam. So it's kind of like a mouse pad, a little thicker, but a mouse pad would work. If you have a MISTI or like a stamping platform, you'll often have something that has a little bit of give to it. You can pull that out and use that as well. But you really want something that's going to allow your stamp to push into the paper, give it some grip. Okay, there we go. So 3 really well-colored images. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm just going to give this a bit of a wipe just so that the next time I go to use it, that's not going to transfer. It'll dry in the meantime, but just so that it's not going to transfer or anything. Okay, so I'm going to put my ink away. I'm going to pull my stamp off of my block. That's the word I'm looking for. Now, I'm going to pull out a slick surface to do a little bit of ink blending. It's not a lot, just a little bit. So this is my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station, which is what I use. So in the colors that I used, I'm going to be using dye-based inks. The dye-based inks that I have that I like to use are the Elements by Lavinia Stamps. So the 2 colors that I'm going to use for this particular panel, anyways, is Sundance, which is a beautiful yellow, and then Paprika, which is kind of a reddish brown, or sorry, reddish green. So I'm gonna give my hands a little bit of a squeeze here. So by squeezing them, I'm taking some of the ink off of the sponge pad, and it's going into the lid of my, oh, you know what? I've gone ahead of the thing. Now, here's what we need to do is now we actually need to take our white pencil. I almost forgot the main part. This is where we're going to create our resist. So whoever out there was screaming, "Green, you're forgetting a part." Thank you very much for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is all of the areas that I want to have resist, I'm going to color with my white pencil crayon. And again, it's a wax, so you're going to have to pay attention to where you're coloring. Now, you don't have to push super hard, but the more wax from the crayon or the more color, it's white, so you're not going to be able to see it. So you have to pay attention to where you're adding it in. But the more wax that you kind of put down, so if you're pushing hard, not that you have to push super hard, but the more wax or ink that you lay down, the more resist, the better the resist will be. Okay? So the center, just to show you that this works with both very inexpensive pencil crayons and artist quality pencil crayons, I'm going to do the center flower using the Crayola, which I picked up in a 24 pack from Dollarama for like $2. So it was nice and inexpensive. Okay. So for this, so I have colored the leaves all white because I don't want them to be yellow. They're going to be whatever they're going to be. Okay. My computer just froze there for a second. Now I'm also going to add a bit of highlight in some areas. You can see that that's what I had done in here. Like, so you can see where there's a couple of streaks of white. So that's where we're going to add and have a little bit of highlight showing, just to add some depth, because we're only going to get one shot at this. Once we add that ink on, that's it. That's all she wrote. And I think I did that area already. So let's do this. So let's do this tip here, like that. And then I want to come in and I want to add a little bit of shading here. This part of the technique is the part that takes the longest. Once you're done this, it's very, 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 very quick. Quickie. Okay, so the center flower, I've added my highlights using the Crayola pencil. Now, just to show you that you can use this with other pencils, whatever you've got, I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some white, basically pencil crayon to the leaves of this other flower. So what have you got at home in your stash? Do you have pencil crayons? Do your kiddos have pencil crayons? So I just did the last video that I posted. I was using watercoloring and could have used kiddos like watercolor sets, like Crayola paints that you got from the dollar store or whatever your kids have at home. You don't need to go out and invest in expensive watercolors because for all you know, you might not like the technique. I was really happy with the way that it turned out in the shaker card, etc. It turned out really cool. I was very happy with it. But, there's no point in investing in super expensive, well, they don't even have to be super expensive. Oftentimes, there's nothing wrong with using the art supplies that your kiddos have. Or maybe you have it and it's yours. You just like to use it. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, add a little bit of white to the tips. So, and this particular stamp, what's interesting is for a dollar store stamp, it's actually quite nice. It's got some shading areas like you can see here. So you can see right here where it's quite dark. So if I was actually coloring this using watercolors or my alcohol markers or pencil crayons or felts, whatever I was using that would be an area that I would want to make sure was nice and dark versus this where there's no highlight to it at all. It's just plain white. That means it's going to be a lighter area where the light is going to hit it, right? Same thing on these leaves. There's lots of more lines, which you can see stamped in the black. Those would be areas, if there's more lines or thicker, not thicker lines, but a heavier concentration. So here, okay, on this would be a darker area. This is darker. This is darker. But this area here through the center has less filled in lines. That means that would be an area that the sun or the light, whatever your light source is, that's where it would hit. Okay, so just finishing up on my shading here for my flower. And the leaves. Just about done. All right, so I'm going to call that good. So now I'm going to come in. I'm going to start, and I'm going to start with my yellow because it is the lightest color. So I usually like to start from the lightest to go to the darkest. Yeah, so I'm going to add some color onto my brush, onto my blending brush here. Then I'm going to tap it off in the lid. Some of you have seen me do this before. I can go back and grab the pigment from my lid when I want to go and re-ink my brush. The other thing that I can do then is I can add a little bit of water. If I decided I wanted to do some watercoloring from this, I could go back into here, add a little bit of water, and that becomes my palette. I don't want to add a lot because I don't want it to saturate or go into and wreck my pad. But from here, I can use that and just get my pigment from there. Okay, now I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to come in and I want to add saturation. Get up even a little bit more there. Flip from this side so that I'm coming in on the edge, not getting too harsh of a line. Picking up a little bit more ink. Bring that in. Okay, so now what's interesting is you're starting to see, well, you might not, I'm not sure if this is going to pick up on camera or not, but you can kind of see in the light. Oh yeah, see, there you go. You can see where it's shining. That's where I put down the wax. So underneath all of that, it will be white or it'll be a lighter color. That's where we have, it's going to resist. And when we go and wipe this off, the color will lift off of those areas. So let's wipe up that yellow there. Now let's bring in the paprika. Okay, and there's already quite a bit of color in my lid, but I'm just going to give it a slight squeeze. You don't want to do too much because you can crack these. And if you crack it, it's going to be exposed to air and then you'll lose out on your ink pads will dry out. Okay, so now what I want to try and do, so I've laid down an overall base color of yellow. So that's great. But now what I want to try and do is I'm kind of going to bring it through in kind of a squiggle or an S shape because I don't want to take away the yellow. I don't want everything to be blended, but I do want to bring in some red, deeper chains of orange, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm going to go here, this. I don't know why I'm humming like that. That was kind of funny. Okay. And again, I'm going to come in from this side and I'm not going to add too much ink. Okay, and from here, come down. So I'm getting these really nice shades of red to a peach into an orange, right? Like, so I've got some reds here, and then we get this really soft peach here. Um, what I'm liking about that is those would actually be colors of a flower, right? So, okay, so that's enough for that one. And I'm gonna put this in here, off to the side, and I'm gonna wipe. Actually, I'm using my baby wipe first, and then wipe. Now I'm going to take my microfiber cloth and I'm just going to take my finger like this. Sorry guys, I think my internet is acting up here. I'm hoping I'm not too frozen. I appear to be frozen. I'm still recording. There we go. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to buff off the ink. This is going to be a very funny video to watch back because I'm noticing that there's a lot of pausing and stalling on it. So again, I apologize. I need to get some stuff done on my computer, I think. Just reluctant to, what a pain. I don't want to have to do all of that. Okay, so and I'm just kind of shifting my finger over. There we go. How cool is that? So you are still going to get that bit of sheen from the wax, and that's okay. But you're getting multiple tones. You get the shades, the highlights, the lowlights. Very cool. Now, to complete the card, what we're going to do is we're just going to go along and we're going to tear it. And if you hold your finger or your nail or whatever you want to use there, hold it in place and then you kind of tear away from it. But that should allow you to kind of get enough of an oomph grip on it to kind of tear away from those areas without. Now you can tear your flowers or the leaves or whatever I did on the other one, and it was okay. It didn't hurt anything. Just changes up your design a little bit. And we're going to come in from this side and do the same thing. And just kind of go in. It adds a really nice kind of organic, by tearing it, gives you a really nice organic edge to this. That kind of without having to like fussy cut or anything like that. See, that was really nice and simple, fast. Okay, so now we've got the piano. Now I'm going to take my dark color. You can do black if you like. I like this gray color that I've got. This is Graphite by Lavinia from Elements by Lavinia. And I'm just going to take my blending brush just along the edges because I don't want that white paper edge on there, like where it's been torn. So I'm going to darken it up, and this will help give it some dimension on our paper as well. If you're a scrapbooker, well, even paper crafting on cards and stuff like that, and you like to add that edge to kind of distress your card panels, things like that, or your photos or photo matting using black or brown works like a darn to give it a little bit of oomph to it. Helps it stand off of your page, which this will do the same thing rather than having it white edge to white edge. Could have used a dark brown on this as well. That would have worked well, especially with these colors. That would have been quite nice. Okay, that in here. All right, and for the card base that I've chosen, I have these, I don't know what it is with all these dollar store things that I've got, but that's well, I do know what it is. I have dollar store addiction. I don't know about you guys, but I do like to shop the dollar store because pretty bad that way, pretty bad. So what I'm going to do is I have these really nice, kind of an ivory toned color card that has a gray edge, and then it came with really pretty silver envelopes. I'm pretty sure these were likely, I don't know if it was Christmas or if these were supposed to be like for weddings or something. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the white, my white background. Oh, I didn't grab out a card paddle. That's funny. Okay, so this now fits across the edge, just like that, edge to edge. So I'm going to stick that one down, and then I'm going to stick this onto the black as my, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oh yeah, as my matting layer, just to add that little bit of oomph, brings in the gray as well. Yes, so that, make sure I don't get anything on there, because that's what would happen, wouldn't it? Okay. So I want to make sure that I'm on fully on the white. And what's nice is because I cut this, I used a 4.25 by 5.5 inch card panel. This will go entirely, like the card panel that I used was a standard A2 size. So it goes right to the edge. I don't have to trim it or anything like that. You can see it's right on the edge. It's very nice that way. Okay, so then I cut this to go 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So this is now 4.5 by 5 3/4. Stick that down. Look at there. There we go. Okay. Cheetos. Okay, now the last part that I want to do is I'm gonna do my sentiment. I'm actually gonna stamp my sentiment onto here, and the sentiment that I used is also coming from this set. And I have this, may your day be filled with good things. So this could be very simply could be a congratulations, could be a thinking of you, could be happy birthday, whatever. So I'm going to stamp it off just to the edge here, and I'm going to use this time, because I'm not doing any coloring over top of it. I'm actually going to use my Versamark, or my VersaFine Clair in the Nocturne. There we go, I'll do that. This is a pigment-based ink, which clings to the stamp really nicely. So you get a nice, solid, crisp sentiment. I'm just going to hold this here for a second. There we go. And your day be filled with good things. And then just gonna give that a wipe. Microfiber cloth there. Oh, have some glitter in here. Go figure. Now, a pigment ink is going to stay wet for a little longer than average. So I'm going to give that a minute to dry. I'm not going to stick it onto my card base. But what I am going to do is I have this really nice, this image, this stamp set came with a few other little flowers. So on the inside of my card, I'm just going to add this really lovely little, oops, nice little flower. And wipe, smooched. Want to go into the corner. Am I still in frame? Yes, just add that here into the corner. Number 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and we're lifting. Nice. Okay, give it a wipe. Wipe off the stamp because we're done with that one. Putting the stamp set back because, that happens, right? Okay, so I've got this little piece of black card here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blot going to blot this because this won't show. It helps to absorb some of that ink off the top. Okay, and then I'm also going to do the same with this so that I can go ahead and stick this down. Have it be complete. There we go. All right. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty even all the way around. Put a bit of a push down there. Edit it here. And then we do have some nice colored gems here. Just gonna finish this out. Let's see here. Want a okay, there's one. I'm trying to do like a yellow. I had some nice orange ones. I might have to pull out the other my other little tin of these. Almost out. And that's the same color. Red is too dark. They appear to be out of the orange ones in this little tin here. Okay. If you don't have these little triangle things, I highly recommend them. Makes it so much easier to put all your blingage and whatnot back into the containers. Aha, there's an orange one. Orange. Let's see if this one's on here. Pink. That's the same orange. Looks like a different yellow. It is a different yellow. There we go. Okay. Okay, those are the ones that I'm going to work with. 5, nice uneven number, which makes our brains happy because we like to see uneven numbers for whatever reason. People are strange that way. Okay, so I think I'm going to do fairly similar to what I had done previously. I'm going to bring that nice orange up there. I'll do this deeper color. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's pull this out. Oh, got a little close to the sentiment with that one. Okay, there we go. And then my video is frozen again. There we go. Okay, so that is the card. But what I want to do, well, I've still got you guys here because I was digging, as I said, I was digging through my stash and I couldn't find the oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, the butterflies. That's what it was. As I was going to try and do this card using butterflies, but I couldn't find my stamp. So what I did, and just to show you that this could work with other things, I'm going to experiment and I'm going to try it with another type of stamp because I have these absolutely adorable Tinkerbells that I think would be really cute, really fun. And I think I should be able to make this work using same similar technique. So we'll put that on there. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so this is another stamp set that I haven't used. So again, remember when you're using a stamp set, you want to make sure that you're conditioning your stamps as you're pulling them out, or you go to stamp with them. So to condition with them, we just rub with our fingers. You can use a cloth or something like that. But basically, there's like a coating on it that prevents uh, your ink from sticking to your stamps. Okay, so the first image that I'm going to use is this kneeling Tinkerbell, because I have some bigger images, but I can get her right in the center and then do the other ones around her. So again, I'm going to ink up with my amalgam ink here so that I can color using whatever kind of medium I want to. Okay. I won't finish this card, but I'll walk you guys through the process here again. Get it all done. Okay, so I'm going to kind of center her. My head might get in the way there. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, good. All right, so holding that down there. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Nice. Okay. Clean off the stamp. Put that one back into the stamps. And I'm sorry, you guys, I have no idea where I got this from. I would like to tell you, but I have no idea who it's from. Now, how cute would that one be right there, right? That would be kind of cute. A little bigger than the other one, but that's okay. And then, or we could do this one and then the one that's standing. I don't know, what do you think? So that's the handy thing about having your acetate. Trying it out. See if I do that, though, I can kind of angle her. So she's kind of flying. Let's do that. Always a good idea. One of the YouTubers that I like to watch is Joe Rice. Yeah, Joe Rice. She does a lot of Lavinia stamps and stuff. So again, brand new stamp. I'm pulling this out, and I'm going to rub my fingers all over it, pulling off any kind of sizing or whatever the chemical or whatever it is that they put on the stamp that kind of you want to condition it to make sure that it will have your ink adhere to it well enough to take to your page. Anyway, as I was saying, Joe Rice is somebody that I follow who does a lot of Lavinia stamp videos. She's their head of their design team. And again, as I told you, I'm moving my ink pad around in different areas so that I'm hitting the whole stamp, because I'm only going to get one shot at this because I'm not using my stamping platform, right? So I kind of want this to kind of come off a little bit. I'm going to get some angles here. Anyway, she uses her acetate to kind of position her stamps to see, will I have room for that? Does that work there? Does it not? Which one do I like the size of? Which one do I like the look of? That kind of thing, without actually putting any ink down to start with. It's very smart. Okay. Swing back. Now, the $24 question is, do I want to use this one here? She's kind of looking away, or see, I think I like this one because it keeps her in general looking in towards the card. This one kind of looks like it's off center. So I think I'm gonna use that one instead. But this kind of stamp, so the reason why I'm showing this is because, like I said, I didn't have the stamps that I had seen the technique with originally. So you guys will likely have a lot of stamps in your stash. So what could you use instead? I had some little dragons, like with knights, or little monsters, or space aliens, or maybe you have butterflies, maybe you have dragonflies, maybe you've just got a set of flowers, something to that extent. All of those should theoretically work with this technique. So we're going to find out. Okay. Stamping up, moving my ink pad around. Okay. And bringing her down here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. It's about as much time as you should need in order to have a decent transfer. The only time I would recommend a little bit longer is if you are using a pigment ink on a silhouette stamp. Silhouettes are thick and fully colored in. So you want some time for that to transfer. Doesn't soak into the paper. Lavinia, all their videos say give it time to soak into paper. Doesn't soak into the paper. That is a misnomer. What it does is it has the friction is what transfers the ink from your stem to your cardstock. Okay, so look at how cute she is, right? Like how adorable is that? So cute. Anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to color in. Okay, so I definitely don't want a lot of color in her wings. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to color her wings because I want her wings to be a lighter color. Oh, I think my pencil pen is broken on the inside. That's something to really watch if you have really fine quality art supplies, pencil crayons in particular. If you drop them on the floor, they can break on the inside. I don't know if you knew that or not. That's a bit of a pain. I also want her eyeballs to stay lighter in color. I don't want color on her eyes, right? And I'm going to want her toe thing. See, that's why I can see how it broke there. All right, so where else do I want to add shades and highlights? So how about in here? Oh, that's hmm. Okay, I'm gonna have to break out the other one because that one I'm gonna have to find my thing to sharpen that. So I'm gonna bring in some shades, highlights here, here, a bit on her leg. Um, and her hair. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the other wings. Again, remembering that this is the part actually in your technique that takes the longest. Color the little pom-poms in white. And I'm going to want some shades of highlight on her leg, her knee, her arm. And I want her eyeballs to stay lighter in color. Put some streaks in her hair. And probably on her dress, on the back here. And last one, here we go. Give us some here. And here we go. And under the arm. I think I got that part, but we'll do it again. And I did get both of the pom-poms on that side, the pom-pom on this side, and it on the side, and on her hip, and light colored streaks in the pom-pom, on her shoulder, and on her hand. Okay, so we're gonna call that good. So you can see here, I think in the light should hit it well enough that you can catch a little bit of sheen in some of the area. Oh, there you go, on the wing. You can see there where all of the white went. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with the lighter color. So this is the yellow. So this is a Sundance. So to me, Tinkerbell's hair is yellow color, right? Probably her skin, we're going to kind of do that kind of color. And I'm going to come in, go here, touching her hair. And continuing across. Tapping off when I need to. So and I want to make sure that I'm bringing that color all the way up because again, I'm going to tear around the wings here. So I want to make sure that I've got color in all of these places for every place that I'm going to have to tear, right? Okay, so that's pretty good for the yellow. I don't want it super deep in tones. Now the next color, so I'm grab it on top here. The next color that I'm going to bring in is Lime Punch, and it's a really nice, bright, lighter colored green. And my green blending brush. Oops, forgot to give that a little squeeze here. Squeeze. And I'm going to want to bring that in for her dress area. Would like it to be greener. Just cool. Okay. I want to get her shoes in those areas where I can. I want to try and get the shoes. And again, I'm just blending. And I'm going to carry that green all the way across to the next dress area and shoes. Ooh, this is looking really cool. I'm happy with that. Like I said, this was an experiment. I wasn't sure how this was going to work. Bringing the green in, and I want a little bit down here by her shoes again. So bringing that up, just a little bit more green there. Okay. And now if I want, I can come back in here with some more yellow if I feel like that got a little carried away. It did just a bit, but still not too bad. Now, next part, I'm going to put that to the side here. Sorry, guys. Still getting over my cold. You don't know what it is with these colds these days, but boy, they linger. I'm assuming that's a side effect of the COVID there, whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to take my microfiber cloth and I'm going to go in and I'm going to buff off the color from the areas that I had highlighted. I'm going to switch. Oh yeah, loving that. Woohoo! A minute. Try to choose a clean place in your cloth. Get this guy washed here pretty quick. And all the ink on it. Okay. That is so cool. Whoops. All right. Now, look at that. Like, look at, you can see the areas where the wax was, but look at how light those wings are. So I just colored this image without having to go into a great amount of detail because that, this would obviously have would take a lot more for detail. I can't just use two sweeps of color and be done, right? It takes a lot more to have to color smaller images like this. So now I'm just going to go along and kind of tear, give it a nice organic edge. I have to watch as I'm going around her wings and make sure that I'm not tearing off anything from the wings. And then I'm going to come in on this side, come in a little higher, go around her feet. On the knees on this one. Oh, good. Got it around that toe. Awesome. Like that. And because of this different different poses that she's in, it actually makes the card look a little bit more dynamic because we've got a lot of hills and valleys here. So now I'm going to come in again with my graphite. You can use black, you can use brown, whichever color you feel suits your project, colors that you've used. But I definitely want to go in and edge. So I want to be careful right around her face here. I'm just trying to catch the edge. I don't want her face. Get a little bit more ink on my brush here. Oop, going too far in there. That's okay. I'll just continue to feather that out. And come along the edges here. There we go. Nice. I love it when we're at a crop and this is all you can hear is the of somebody chalking, somebody's edging their work. We all somehow find a moment when everybody's quiet and just laughing, whatever, and get this one moment, and that's all you can hear is people chalking. So, and obviously I'm holding the front of my card, so I do want to make sure that I haven't got ink on my fingers because that would transfer to my almost completed panel here now, wouldn't it? And that would not be fun. Okay. Now, I'm out of the card front here. So let's pull a card front, stick this down, because this should be the same size, and it is. Look at that. It's like that. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this down. I'm just kind of outline around the edges here. This actually is a good way of using liquid adhesive because you can get into those nooks and crannies of where you've torn the edges much easier. So I want to make sure that I'm not coming off of my card panel here. So I got to watch because it's a lot taller on the right hand side here. And I want it to line up with the edge just perfectly. I don't want any white hanging off. Okay. There we go. Aha. Happy with that. And then I'm going to put it on black, pop her up like that. Now, if you didn't want to mat this, you could actually just make this a one-layer card. And you could put this straight onto your card front, like your actual card base, sorry, is the word that I'm thinking of. If you don't want to have the mat around it, I think that it actually pulls in the sides and it looks really nice like that. So, or you could cut it shorter then, but I do like how nice and even the edges are here. And I have another card ready to go. So let's stick that down just like that. On the other side there. There we go. Okay, and I believe this is a 5.5 by 7 by 6, something to that extent. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy with that. And then I had already cut out a sentiment. So I did a die cut. It just says make a wish. But how cute would that be? I think I could do make a wish. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. Woohoo. Make a wish. How does that end up looking? Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay, I'm gonna stick that down. Sorry guys, you're welcome to stop the video. Thank you for attending and for keeping an eye out and watching. And if you have any questions, by all means, please leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep the comments kind. Share with your friends. Mm -hmm. And for those of you that have noticed that there is no tittle on here, I actually managed to have it cut out, but it was so small that I just decided I'm just going to use one of my little black pearls for it. Or another thing too, if you lose the tittle, like the top of the I or the J, that's what that dot is called. It's called a tittle. And if you happen to lose it, another good thing to use is Nico drops. If you don't want to have to fiddle with that tiny little thing, because it's quite tiny. Now, I think I like Make a wish. Yeah, that works well enough. Have that up there. Doesn't bother me that it's kind of higher than the rest of the sentence. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go make. Oh, shh. Put that in general gets the sentiment across. Look at how cute that is. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then I'm going to put on a couple yellow and the bright green gems that I have, plus a little tittle for the black, for the eye there. But basically, that is going to be our card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's actually a very um, quick technique. Doesn't take long. Like I said, the coloring in of the using the pencil crayon is what takes the longest. But once you've done that, should be smooth sailing for you. I hope you enjoyed the class, guys. Anyway, take care, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.